All right, let's move on to the NFL slate. First game is going to be the 4-0 Eagles taking on the Cardinals in Arizona. The Cardinals are coming off a win versus my Panthers. I'll be saying that a lot because my teams don't normally win. This week they're running into a whole different breed, though. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are just a different beast this year. They're clicking, everything's firing and running smoothly. Their offense is a well-balanced offense, and they're second in the league in total offense so far this year. As we all know, both teams start slow. I mean, the Eagles have only scored once in the first quarter this year. The Cardinals have yet to score in the first quarter. So me saying this, they're probably going to go off and probably each get 2 touchdowns. But I'm probably going to sprinkle on the first quarter under just for a little prop for everybody, just because of those stats. Both teams kind of start slow. Eagles are methodical. They're both, I'm pretty sure, top 7 in time of possession. So I like the first quarter under, but I feel like the Eagles just have too much. I know I say that a lot in our videos, but I feel with no D-Hop in Arizona, Rondale Moore's questionable, and there's another receiver that's questionable. I don't think that they can keep up with the Eagles. But basically, I just like the way that the Eagles are playing. This is more of like a gut call. So I'm going to go Eagles -5. I love them to win the game. And like me and Grayson have said before, over 80% of the time, the team that wins the game covers the spread. So I like the Eagles -5 here. Next, let's head down to Tampa with the struggling Bucks taking on the Falcons. And Cole Beasley has just retired. So maybe that's a shot at Tom Brady. Maybe he just came out of retirement to play a couple games and then be like, nah, I want to spend time with my family. But I don't really think so. I think maybe he just came down to help until a couple of receivers came back and he just realized that he didn't want to play anymore. Godwin's back. Mike Evans obviously is back. Julio Jones might be back. I think this offense can continue to build off of the 31 points that they had against the Chiefs last week. And they scored 31 points after an unusual week. I mean, there was the Hurricane Ian. They were moving around. They didn't know if they were going to have the game in Tampa. So being able to score, I know it's the Chiefs' defense, but still being able to put up 31 points after not having an offense all year, basically, is pretty impressive with all that going on. They're facing a defense that allowed Geno, my dog, but Geno, and the Seahawks put up 325 yards passing. And Matt Stafford, who has looked not great this year, put up 272. So they have the opportunity to kind of catch their stride, especially in the passing game. I know 10 points is a lot. And I know a lot of people are going to say that, oh, the Falcons are 4-0 against the spread. But it's Tom Brady. At home, in a normal week, a lot of his options are back. Leonard Fournette had 6 yards rushing last week. I don't see that happening again, especially against the Falcons. So give me the Bucks -10 at home here in this one, and let's hope for some Brady magic. Next up, we got the Chargers versus the Browns. This is not a statistical analysis game for me. This is more just a gut one. I mean, the Chargers travel to Cleveland, and they're playing Jacoby Brissett versus the Browns. I'm going to take the Chargers -2 on the road here. I know their defense hasn't been great, especially against the pass, but it feels like if there was a chance for them to kind of step into where they should be, this is the game. Keenan Allen has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday, so that's probably up in the air for him still to play. I would assume that he's not going to play at this point. But there's not much to throw out. I just think that the Chargers are more talented, and the Browns have a history of just throwing games away, and -2 is a great number. I think it could easily be a field goal game to a touchdown game, so I'm going to just go with a gut call on this one and take Chargers -2. We have Cowboys versus the Rams. This is a huge if game for me. It was kind of one of the harder ones to do because if Cooper Rush continues to play, if Matt Stafford doesn't perform like he has been all year, if the Cowboys defense decides to continue to play the way they are. So, I mean, the Cowboys defense is solid. I think that they will continue to play. Micah Parsons is an absolute dog. Their pass rush has the most sacks in the league this year, and the Rams have given up the 3rd most sacks. And as we have seen in every game. If Matt Stafford's pressured, he's just throwing the ball up to Cooper Kupp or he's taking the sack. With the opposing trends for the Cowboys defense and the Rams offense just like going in different directions, I'm going to take the Cowboys plus 5.5. I might sprinkle some money line on this one. I just feel like as a devil's advocate here, if the Rams finally decide to stop force feeding Cooper Kupp, I know he's amazing. He's a great route runner, but when you get 18 targets a game, it's very one-sided, and it's hard to score like that in the NFL. There's talent everywhere. It's not like there's one player that's just going to beat a team like you can in college sometimes. So if they run the ball some, they spread the attack out, this could be a different game for me, but I don't see that happening. I don't think Stafford trusts any other receiver besides Kupp and then occasionally Higbee, and I don't think that they can get the run going against this team. So I'm just going to take the Cowboys plus 5.5 here and hope for the best. And then finally, probably the game of the week, we got the Bengals at the Ravens. The Ravens look good so far this year in the first half. They've blown 2 huge leads, and last week they just decided not to score in the second half. So it's kind of like another one where it's kind of 2 trends. They play really well in the first half, and then in the second half they just kind of stop playing. The Bengals have won 2 straight, but they continue to struggle to block for Joe Burrow. So possibly the Ravens could get some pressure on them with their athletic front 7. But also, like, this will be the biggest test for the Bengals defense. Statistically, they look solid, but they played Joe Flacco, Jacoby Brissett. Like, they haven't played great offenses so far. But on the other spectrum, the last time the Ravens pass defense is terrible. They're last in the league. And the last time that Burrow played against him, he threw for 525 and 4 touchdowns. Even with all the sacks that he takes, I still think he's going to get a big game here. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, they're loaded. Joe Mixon in the run and pass game. I don't see where the Ravens can stop them. And as I've said before, we love to fade the public. There's 80% of the bets going on the Ravens this week. And Vegas took one of the biggest losses last weekend. So in a game like this where it's kind of a toss-up, I'm going to go against the public here, and I'm going to take the Bengals plus 3.5. I also like it personally, even if I wasn't looking at the betting splits, because I don't think that they can get the stops necessary to win the game at the end like they haven't all year. So give me Bengals money line and plus 3.5.